Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. I hope you're all off to a wonderful start to your holidays, and as I am. Thank you again for your love and support. It's wonderful. I have a very fast Christmas card for you that uses up any of your 12 by 12 Christmas paper, and I'm going to show it using the set that is called Peaceful Place, and it goes with the Peaceful Cabin set. And I am using some of this gorgeous paper, and I'm going to use it for this in the next couple of videos to show you how to utilize that paper. It is particularly good at making super fast but beautiful Christmas cards. And today I'm going to show you a regular card, and I'm going to show you a gift card holder or money holder, either way. And so let's just get started. Here is the card that I made so far, and this is one you may recognize, but I wanted to show it again. I made this card or something similar to it last year, but it looks so different with different papers, and I wanted to remind everybody again about this card. It is so simple, it is so easy, and it is very inexpensive to make. So I took a piece of thick Whisper White and I cut it into 4 pieces, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that is our Christmas card base. Then I'm going to show you right from start to finish. I'm going to bring out my trimmer, and I'm going to take a piece of this paper. So this is my piece of designer series paper from this pack that we will be using, and we're going to make the money card holder on this one. And this one, the pattern seems to be running this way, and the cabins are running this way. So what one has to do is cut this along the pattern running this way so that my cabins will also be facing the right way. So we're going to cut this at 4 inches by 12 inches, and we're ready to make our card. All right, the first thing we're going to do is score this at 5 1/4 inches, and then we're going to turn it around and we're going to score it at 1 1/2 inches. So at 4 and at 1 1/2. And there we go. Now we're going to fold this down, making sure that as we fold this, the sides match. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to gently, because this is designer series paper, so not as sturdy as cardstock. And then I'm going to also, I did that on the wrong side. This is what happens when you, I'll cut another piece. So again, 4 inches by 12 inches. I'm going to leave that in the video so that you remember. So if I want this to close this way and I want this to be the pocket, then this is the side I have to score at 5 1/4 inches. And the other one I scored the other way, so we'll make a different card with that. Okay, so score at 5 1/4, and then we're going to score again at 1 1/2. On this one, you just have to be very careful about the direction of the pattern on both sides of the paper. Okay, now let's try this again. So this one is going to fold this way, and then this is going to fold in at the 1 1/2" mark. And you can see how this is going to fold up and be pretty much a full-size card. So now I'm going to take my adhesive here, because this is the part I want to fit on the card this way. So my adhesive has to be on this side. And I'm going to put adhesive on all 4 sides and down the middle. Okay, now then, this piece of designer series paper is going to fit centered on this base that is the white here. This thing wants to give me difficulties here. Okay, so getting that set like that should be just about right. And there we've got our card basically made. Then ahead of time, I took a card that is 3 3¾ by 5, and my stamp set that I'm using on this card is perfectly plaid. I'm using the Merry Christmas and May the Special Season Be Wrapped in Love and Joy. So I put this, because I made a million of these, I put this in my Stamparatus, and I stamp the insides and stamp the insides and stamp the insides. So this is going to go right on the inside here. I'm going to try and do that so that it's centered on the inside of the card. Then I am going to put a little bit of adhesive, and I'm just going to use my dot runner here because I don't want to, there it is, I'm looking for my silicone mat. I want to just get the edge of this and get lots of adhesive on it, but just on the edge, so that I can then close this up, and that then becomes the gift holder part of the card. And if I had a credit card, you could see I could fit it in there. I could fold my money and put it in here. And there's still plenty of room to write your sentiment. Okay. Now on this one that I did incorrectly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one like this that's just a card. And I'm going to cut that 1.5 inches off because it's really on the wrong side. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it on another of these bases that I cut that are 4¼ by 5½. And on this one, we just have to make sure our cabins are going in the right direction. So I can add my adhesive here to the back of my card, my designer series paper, and get that placed on my card base. And see how easy you can make sort of one of each. And I suppose I could put this on the inside and just glue it down on 3 sides. But I think I'll just make a regular card out of this one. So we've got 2 cards almost ready to go. And I have another of these insides ready to go, because I'm in mass production mode here, trying to get the last of my cards done. And this one is so fast and easy that it's really nice to be able to do this in an assembly line, and you can just get a ton of them done at once. Okay, so I'm going to put this one right here centered on this piece, and we've got this lovely decoration then on the inside. And there we go. I'm going to use my bone folder to crease that down in both cases, and there we go. Now for the one that I was planning on making, I have cut some of this die that is this beautiful die that has this pine cone, and they're called pine cone dies. And I am just going to put a little bit of dot runner adhesive on the edges of this one just so that it sits down. Now, in this case, I want to fill up this card. So I'm going to put this, because it's this shape, right up here in this corner. Now, I'm going to take the other color, which was Mossy Meadow. This is Evening Evergreen, and this is Mossy Meadow. And let's see, I'm going to use it to go over the top, and that way we get two colors of green going on in our card, which I think adds a level of richness to this card. So this one, I'm just going to add a little adhesive to the back and right on the ends. And I'm going to put this piece right across here. Isn't that fun? Now on this one, I have pre-punched, and this makes it go even faster. This one is a die cut with the bird. This one is a punch. So you can take a piece, I use soft suede with this one, and just punched an entire page of these. And what I'm going to do is add a couple of dimensionals to the back of this, both the minis and the large dimensionals. I'm going to place my reindeer right here in the middle of the pine pieces. And then because I'm in production, I've done a whole bunch of these sentiments ahead of time. Now this is going to get centered, well, it's set offset on this one. So I only want this upper 2/3 here to be covered with glue so that it doesn't show out, and set that on here. Well, it would have been nice if it had been straight. There we go. Now I'm going to add a few dimensionals to this and add it to my card. Okay, I'm going to put my Merry Christmas right down here. Now on this one, I used the regular rhinestones, and I did a piece of our ribbon that is this metallic ribbon, and I just tied a knot bow and trimmed it very, very short because it's so big and voluminous that I finally got a bow the size that I wanted, and it's trimmed very close, but it matches the silver and the silver rhinestones. On this one, and I put a silver rhinestone on the inside. On this one, I'm going to use the red, and so I've got some holiday rhinestones here, and I'm going to add a rhinestone to cover my misstamping there, and I'm going to put one on his nose, and I'm just going to put a few others around the card here to dress it up and add a little bit of color. Oh, let's see. Maybe another right over there. And there we go. So now I have one with a bird and then one with a punched reindeer on my pine cones here. And with this one, I thought I would do a red knot bow. Trim my knot bow ends. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and attach my ribbon to the card. And I'm going to put it right at the feet of the reindeer, and I'm using red on this one to tie the red pieces in, and on this one I used the silver to tie the silver in. And there is one of each. Now, while I'm at it, I thought I would go ahead and just finish this one up. And I'm going to do this one just a tiny bit differently. I have lots of these Merry Christmases done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together. Let's see. I need my glue on this side. Oh, I did it on the wrong side anyway. All right, we'll just make this one go the other way. So just like that. And then I will add a few dimensionals to the back of this one and get it placed on my card. And I'm thinking I'm going to put this one over on this side, and I'm going to take a little bit more of that greenery, maybe not quite as large a piece, and all I'm really doing is tearing those apart, and I'm going to put my greenery up in this corner on this one. And we'll add a little bit of snail to make those ends stick down. Tuck that in the corner, and then I've got some of the darker green here, and I'm going to do that same thing. Just tear them apart where it makes sense to do it, and put that, well, that doesn't make any sense at all, so I'm going to just trim that piece off and go ahead and add this right down in here. I think that'll work. And tuck that right in here. And on this one, I had pre-punched for another project. Have you seen our silver packages these days? It's got this color, kind of a brushed silver. It's got a darker silver and then the more traditional silver. And I used our punch that's available that punches out all different kinds of stars. And I thought I would just go with the silver theme here and add some stars to this one and then do the rhinestones. So I'm going to just put a couple of silver stars on my greenery here in the different patterns and shades of the silver stars. And set those stars here on my card, and maybe we'll just put some adhesive on this one and lay it a little bit flatter. And there we've got those pretty silver stars. Now I'm just going to use my regular rhinestones. And here I've got a package of regular rhinestones. And I'm going to add those rhinestones to my card. And there we have a couple of pretty darn fast Christmas cards, and one is a gift holder. And let me move these things out of the way. And here we've got this one with the bird and the silver ribbon. That's what this needs. It needs a little bit of ribbon, and I'm thinking I'm going to add the silver ribbon to that. So I'm going to just cut a little piece of the silver ribbon and push it all together so that I can make a knot bow out of it. It looks like it just needs another little something something here. Okay, so there we go. And then I am going to cut that at an angle and very short and set that bow someplace on my card. Maybe right in there. I think that'll look good. All right, so now I'm going to use my glue dots again. There we go. Very fast cards. I think very pretty. There's lots of different ideas here of ways to make these cards that are just cards are super fast. And this is actually quite fast too, because you're just folding up the end and you're not even having to cut this piece off. But if you cut one the wrong direction, this is something you can do. Cut off that end and turn it into just a regular card. So there we go. That is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And or you could join my team. Let's see, there's going to be a great join offer in January that is the $125 for your starter kit the way it normally is, but I think you get 2 additional stamp sets along with your $125. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and that will start when the catalog kicks off, which I think is January the 4th. Let's see, this is still December, so my prize draw, which will be a $60 shopping spree on me. I'm finally caught up. I caught up August, September's, October's, and November's prizes and alerted everyone, and lots of the people have already turned in their orders to me, and I have things coming. Some of them have been shipped off and some are still yet to come. But that is the prize for the month of December. And all you have to do to put yourself in my drawing is place an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and you can get to it through my blog, www.ingenuity.com. So that's it for me today. I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.